Let's bring out your squads. Up next, let's see who we got here, because I won't lie, I forgot. Oh, it's both teams. There you go. Both teams making their way out. You got put your hands together, Riken. Bring up the Sentinels and Loud. Hey, you know what? I'm allowed one. I'm allowed one. But there you go. So there's Sentinels Loud. Looking forward to seeing these two teams go up against one another here. We were just talking about that matchup, right?
Hold on, they're still trying to find their coordination around the time of how to fist bump as well.
What's going
so
on?
if this is what's going to happen during the handshakes, what's going to happen in the server coordination?
All right, but we figured it out. That's the most important thing, and everyone got to their side, and no one was hurt. So look at us, we managed to accomplish so much. But yeah, so I think that Sentinels finding life right now, Dryad, it feels just so Sentinels. It's like the most Sentinels thing, you know?
They make it work. No, they make it work for a little bit. They talk about, trying to find the happiness back when they're playing in these games. We always talk about that conversation, that second half with the team when they were in Bangkok, but now they seem revitalized, and you have such a big piece of narrate back in the game and also fired up in every single way possible. It's just, they're back.
And I think it does really lend credence to the whole losing is learning thing, because I will say, coming out of Bangkok, that was rough for them, Vansili. Yeah. Very rough. So one has to wonder, right, when you reach that low like that, the only place you can go is up. And with the support system that's already in place in Sentinels, is there more to come from this team? Because it's giving me that feeling.
Yeah, I feel like coming out of Bangkok, the two Americas teams that, went for one, an early dropout in Sentinels, and the other one that made it to the Grand Finals and lost, they still had two different type of learnings. G2 comes in right with a vengeance right away, but Sentinels were still trying to find their groove and trying to find their identity. And it took a bit, right? And Kaplan even mentioned in a couple of interviews too, there's a little bit of psychological things they had to do, work out outside of the server. They had to find what was going to be the best position for them to be able to compete in the best of their capabilities, and even had to go into seat changes to make sure that they could actually try to get the best in terms of chemistry. And so far, it's been working out. It was a very dominant series that they won against EG, and if they could continue off that back, then definitely you have a Sentinels that has come back. I don't want to agree with you right away here, Dan Dryad, to say that Sentinels are back yet.
They're back.
At least the foot's back in the door, and I want to see them bust through Loud here, and then I'll be convinced.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if there is a possibility to do that, I mean, given what we saw from Sentinels, I definitely do think that it is going to be a very interesting showing here for Sen, without a doubt. But in any case, let's move forward here and look at what we have with Split Lotus on the series layout here. That's going to be coming up first. And, of course, with Haven at the... Right? That is Haven at the end.
Yeah, the third one, yeah.
My eyes
Your eyes are still good.
My eyes still work. Split Lotus to start things off. But Split, that Sentinels just playground.
It's very interesting because we haven't seen it in quite some time. And last time that we saw it, it was against 100 Thieves. It was a 13-1 that I don't think we can easily forget. It was a very competitive match at the beginning. It was map 3, 13-1 for Sentinels, and now they get the chance to play it once again.
Yeah, and it was a very good defensive plays from Sentinels in that matchup against 100 Thieves, but I think there's still a reason that Loud wants to play on that map, because they banned Pearl. Pearl for themselves hasn't been the best of the maps for them. So you have to play one of the stronger maps here for Sentinels overall, and now you have the opportunity to play them at least on Split. You've learned how Sentinels have cleaned up their defensive side as well with this composition. So maybe there is an opportunity to play around that thing. Thankfully and hopefully, we're going to see Tui's on a breach, since it's been spamming that a lot, and there it is.
Yeah, there you got the lock and the breach. So you're not going to get the Yoru on one end, but you got the Jet. What are you looking forward to here for DJZen?
It's the same thing as we saw. It's a comfort pick, and that's something that they talked about. We don't often see this Jet on Split. It's a comfort that they're trying to find when they're making so many changes.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if the comfort works out for Loud, or the Sentinels manage to shut that down. Let's send it over to your casters, and I know one of them is a big fan of penguins. Here's Brandon Sideshow.
Thank you very much, gang. Yeah, it's Josh, by the way. He's a big fan of conservation efforts.
Yeah.
Big Dan the Penguin around, though. Don't bring Dan around this guy.
Not a big fan of penguins,
No.
actually. The only part of the terrace I was a fan of was that Penguin Island. The clamped down super.
Let's get into the game. All right. Sentinels versus Loud. It's historic in terms of the rivalry between the two orgs as well. And there's a little bit more, I think, at stake as well on top of this. If you look at recent history, Kickoff itself as well, it was Sentinels that kind of swiftly dismissed Loud. They spiraled out of the Kickoff bracket, couldn't make it to Bangkok as a result of it. And, you know, that back and forth of that history continues. It stretches forward here for Sentinels playing for a chance at playoffs, or at least a chance to lock it up.
It was a great game last time we saw them playing Kickoff. Even though that did start the beginning of Loud spiraling and also making a bunch of changes. Here, 2E's comes in, playing Breach. He's picked up a Ghost, a Flash, and a Fault Line to try to hold off Sentinels on attack here. Unconventional, normally the Breach would be going for full util in this situation.
Yeah, and he was just holding Fault Line in case there was a rapid play at the beginning. Now, they don't realize that Sentinels have cooked all the way forwards here past the smokes, and 2 shots to the body, that'll do the job. A lot of damage done by Digicine, and the follow-up is there from on high. 2E's trying to deliver and rain down bits and pieces of lead, and he's definitely chipped down a few of these Sentinels players, working with player disadvantage, but still access to the site, and critically as well, extremity control gains. Zelsis knows that there's risks to be taken and fights to be had. Just depends on the timing that he's willing to take here with a Paranoia. An attempt to push past this one, doesn't spot anybody, was sidestepped in time. And here's a few shots as well, rattled off by Bang from the side. Every single one counts here for Sentinels. Time is of the essence, Loudy to get a bit of a move on, and definitely finding the kills now. John QT has to be that pivotal playmaker. He can't really reveal his position anyway. Still lands that first one. Half onto the defuse anyway, but all covered over the shoulder by Lucio.
John felt like he had to go and get a kill there, an additional one before he could use the salvos to play the 1v1. Loud get back in, relying on, I think this is going to be a serious theme of today, relying on gun skill.
Yeah.
DG with a Sheriff right at the beginning of the round, and then weirdly enough, both Pancada and 2E's opted for Ghosts in that pistol round. Normally not a point that we're really going to harp on about, but Pancada gave up a Paranoia on defense, 2E's gave up a Flash and an Aftershock, so really deciding to just go for, we're going to have guns out most of the time and we're going to fight Sentinels. We're not going to opt into, you know, elaborate tactical strategic games here. We're 0-3, we've just got rid of our IGL, we've just swapped it around to get more firepower on the roster. Let's lean into the firepower.
Locating targets.
Investment from Loud as well, Digicine. Be a danger here, Outlaw in hand. That's going to be ramp control, all taken up. Show? Yeah, it spotted it. Okay, Zelsis removed off to the side. You can anticipate though these players into a different direction here with a fault line down through main. Still a wall in your face. So Sentinels are going to be forced up into the ramp here. They might be just going straight into the blender. Now getting a bit of a move on. Close to the side, Lucio, he reveals himself here. Now, the positioning is incredibly passive, full heaven control. Lucio can't really swing for an engagement.
2E's is holding off the pivot though, through to B, so if Sentinels at some point decide to go there, well, 2E's has just backed off now, actually.
They're super passive from Loud.
Yeah, he was originally holding a sight line kind of on heaven here, and instead backs all the way out.
Yeah, Bulldog in his hands.
30 seconds left.
Backed all the way up here. Going to be trying to double hold this one up. Oh, just missing the timing onto it. Okay, 20 seconds remaining. Time to shine if you're 2E's. Plenty more targets here. Pancada surely has got to assist. Sun's going to be ricocheting and flashing to the side. That's a gun. Reclaimed. 2 players dropped, falling. Side is open access. A plant down on top of it, so upgrades acquired. The player positioning of Sentinels as well should be prime to play into this post plant.
You want to fight them on close corners, not allowed Digicine any opportunity. Can't be jiggling into the Outlaw.
Slightest at gaps as well, so Digicine's able to play himself in there, but the flash and the peak, it's mistimed ever so slightly. He's just spotted it with those scopes! Not landing for Digicine! Off to the side here, bang! That space reclaimed! Tidy little 3-piece. Cherry on top for the round there.
And the narrates flash, not perfect for John QT to follow up on. He gets the job done, and the second flash to come out from narrate is excellent to set up Bang. Now that is a round though where you need more out of Loud. 2E's and Pancada cannot be holding the world's most defensive positions on the B side and just fall over when they get any pressure coming from heaven. 2E's has got to be getting more in that spot. That's not to do with playing Breach.
For Sentinels as well, question that I was wondering as well is which version of Sentinels are we going to be getting? They've been oscillating week to week in terms of the performance they've been putting up, but it's a good response and an answer, being able to just win off the back of the eco. They're being contested as well. As a slow beginning for Sentinels as well, hoping that Loud will play into them.
Gonna flash here to clear Luke Show.
Yeah, it's going to be
taking
gone.
a really deep position. Nice controlled play from Sentinels, and they have the option always of returning back over to Zelsis, who's just been taking a controlled approach to A main. And it looks like that's where they're headed. Down through sewers, avoiding this triple stack. Luke Show, definitely a player to be watching later on, especially when we get to the attack side. Loved how he was playing in his debut. But the defense side actually was where Loud was struggling a little bit against 100 Thieves. Here, though, they've got a really fast timing.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Caught unaware, on the timing here, and they know there's an additional player. Exchange of the weaponry, but a fault line to supplement again, and an outlaw. Pass and hands exchanged into seconds.
It only just got into his hands,
Yeah.
right in time to shut that down.
Makes good usage of it.
They've been able to spring the trap just 2 seconds earlier. John would have fallen with it in his pocket.
Bankada worked himself into a 4 position here. He'll either do some damage or go down to the spike, but he's being hunted. Second making sure there's full clearance around, and yeah, none the wiser. So 4 players surviving from SEN. It's nice and healthy in terms of the economy for them.
There's 3 different ultimates that are all getting built up here at roughly the same kind of time. And those are the 3 that you can get the most use out of on the attack side. Yoru, Teho, Breach. So they're not quite ready yet to go for some big ultimate snowball play. So Loud will have another opportunity to try to slow things down, control the pace. And Sentinels looking like they want to go for a little bit of ramp control at the start of this round, though their Breach is on entirely the opposite side of the map. So what's the game plan here? Looking like they want to stun just for a bit of B main pressure. And Pankada's smoke, the one way that he's throwing out here, it's not really doing anything.
No, Bang just TP straight past. Loud haven't really threatened, like they're willing to fight with the one way as well, which is where you want to try and apply that conditioning. A bit of a ramp take as well. It's cautious from SEN, but they're making all the right moves.
And Zekken's always got the gate crash to be able to get out of here if there is a trap. You can see the fault line being held from 2Es, so there's definitely a thought about clearing this.
Celsius, hello. Hello, just left really Zekken on a bit of an island, but clone in your face. Get down, Mr. President. And Zekken scurries his way back.
Meanwhile, Luke Show under pressure.
Yeah, just a quick hop over the
spotted.
top. Yeah, that's Bang just silently hopping over for the information. Almost just spotting this one up, and now he's stunned up, doubly so. In fact, has to drop down into a fence. It's an aftershock. No more means of escape, but he still manages to lock down the 1 kill. Bit more anarchy now thrown into it, and with that Outlaw in the hands of Zelsis, Digizine on that half armor. Not much long for the world. Pankada has to be the playmaker now from this position here, tucked to the side. Will he be cleared? As our clearance at best, but the instantaneous trade-off from Sentinels now. They're going to be running all the way down onto this site, getting into that post plant.
Another spot when Pankada actually had to do more from that position. It's a tough one, though. How do you get more than 1 when you're tucked into hell like that? But his positioning was so committed, couldn't use the paranoia, and now he's put everything onto Kawanzin and 2Es. The new initiator duo for Loud.
Trying to exit through CT. Very difficult last. The Salvos are going to be clearing most of the way in through backside. That's a peek from Zekken. Instant with the punish. Off to the side, not anticipating that high ground angle. And Zelts is playing on it. John QT plays off of it.
Second round now that we've seen out of 4 where Sentinels put an extraordinary premium on A ramp control, A heaven, and then pivot through to B. These rounds can get really weird really quickly. If you get caught by somebody who's playing around the pillar and gets a nice pick and then escapes into a smoke, or maybe somebody that's playing over towards CT and gets you on the cross, these kind of rounds can be difficult to deal with, and yet Sentinels have managed them both times. Being able to get past Pankada or 2Es, whoever is on the other side of the map. And now that ult snowball starts to get online.
Yeah. There's only 1 person home. It's Pankada over towards the B side. That's a straight shot straight through the wall. Bang almost gets dropped as a result of it, but he's still alone here, isolated. Has to evacuate, to be honest. He wants to stay alive. Backing his way in through the spawn. TP in to the back. That's bang. Cuts up the angle. Gives an overly safe entry here for the Sentinels players. They're anticipating that there might be a response outside, but John just sticks all the way out.
Loud are currently looking for the lurker in mid. They're looking to try to see if there's somebody there. Full clear them out with DG and Luke. And now that they've realized there's nobody, they can start committing to a retake. But again, it's with a bad buy.
Smoke isolates it. Both flash going to be expended. As you already said, very bad buy indeed. Loud still going to be committing the abundance of util to try and make an attempt at least of this round. Already flooding out towards the back. That's Pancada hitting off some beautiful shots. Damage done. Absolutely absurd work from Pancada. Digitine joined by the sides here. They've got Sentinels corralled into the corner. And Pancada,
Does he have time? Yes.
pulls it out. Circle shrinking down.
I think he's got it.
Oh my God, Pancada.
What a beastly round from Pancada. Not only does he collect every kill, but he was doing so much damage even at the start of the round with that wallbang headshot to begin. His Sheriff aim was remarkable.
That's
here.
insane.
Utterly remarkable.
That's insane work. Absolutely insane work. And there's your eye by Ace. Follow him on socials, hashtag unlock your ace. Plenty of rewards to be given out.
Well, that's got Loud back into the game. They needed somebody to step up and make an outrageous play, and Pancada, he's willing to be the one. Here comes Zekken with a Dimensional Drift. Do they have any ults that they want to combo off the back of this? They definitely could. Breach and Taeho ults available. They'll find Luxio in this hard anchor position as well.
Yeah, isolated, he's just trying to weave in and out as well, but it's too much to avoid. It's pressed up by the drone, stunned up on top of it. Zekken in through the vines, all in thunder. Forwards! Zekken's not to be denied.
Perfect. Immaculate, just as they drew it up there from Sentinels. Everybody from Loud crunched.
Two years just bumbling into the walls there, uncomfortable into the spot in the situation. There's a pick your poison spot. He had salvos at the back feet. And Digitine, he wants to hold on to this off. He's not going to get a chance to. Jump spot, sees it, noise cues made. Zekken does not care. Just like that, Pancada will get your economy in check again, get the op into Digitine's hands, but it's ripped away at a moment's notice.
And I think full credit to Sentinels for being patient in the previous round and not using those ultimates. You could argue, okay, well, they lose the anti-eco, so, you know, maybe they should have thrown an ult in here or there. But when you see what Sentinels are aiming for, which is waiting for these big eco swing rounds and crushing Loud's economy again, it's just the right way to play.
Yeah.
And especially with how coordinated they look. You saw them isolate Luxio, dump huge amounts of utility. Taeho ultimate clears out the whole of Rafters as well. And just provides such a nice setup for Zekken. Loud are going to need another one of those remarkable rounds from Pancada if they want to keep this game close. Thus far, they are getting outclassed. All of the real crucial pivot rounds have gone the way of Sentinels. Now, you could argue apart from the pistol, but Sen won the follow-up. They got round 2.
Yeah. Tough position to be in if you are Loud in this particular spot as well. I mean, it's still early days overall into the map itself, but it just feels like Sen are winning it out in terms of the macro, the way they're working the map.
You would expect that, because Loud have just benched their IGL.
Yep,
That's
absolutely.
It's an unusual thing to do. It normally smacks a little of desperation, and I would say, yeah, when you have a storied organization like Loud, and they're 0-3, staring at the back of probably missing out on playoffs, though of course still technically in their hands to decide that. At that point, yeah, they're making some fairly desperate moves right now.
Well, here's an aggressive fight. It's a blade storm into the hands of Digitine, trying to make a move for it. Banks punish with the TP, stun connects, but narrate straight from behind. Evens out at least that exchange, but still Loud have made out almost like bandits. Now there's no guns to be reclaimed here. The space is rapidly taken up once more by Sentinels, and they're looking to punish it even further. Holding that. Util and ult in the hands of Kawazine. Hold on, that is way too delayed. There's already players in your face! John QT just laying claim and laying siege down to the site.
The ultimate direction as well was to push people into the site.
That's too slow.
They weren't ready.
That speed, tempo increased it. Sen just inserted there. As you said, they weren't ready for it. Pancada, seen miracle rounds for him, but listen, Guardian in hand, just spots the one player. No one from Sen's going to be giving him anything here. Everything put together by Sentinels is very disciplined.
Disciplined, but also able to thrive when an opportunity presents itself. DG's form has been excellent. I mean, it has been all throughout stage 1. It's been brutal watching Loud because DG and Luxio have been putting down like 30 kill maps occasionally and still not being able to get it across the line.
2 kills and I can't play the game. You just...
DGZine goes for the operator. Now last time he tried to pull this out, ended up having to play a 1v4 or whatever it was at the very end of the round, and just got it ripped out of his hands instantly. This time the Viper's Pit designed to try to push you into the operator of DGZine that he's got posted up on an aggressive angle at A main. SEN don't really want any part of it though. That's not where Zellsis is positioned this round. Instead, looking to go up the gut. Because this is normally where Luxio is going to be having his orb, and that's not as present now.
We're going out.
Broke up on the one side. This is the Sentinels looking to see if they can claim a bit of space. Through ropes, going to be hearing a lot of noise being made.
It's a really good protocol. Just realizing that Luxio's not going to have that orb available in mid. Mid is not going to be as heavily defended with the Viper's Pit over towards B main. So you get this area so much freer than you otherwise would. If they manage to use the Teho drone to force DGZine off this first aggressive angle, things start to get a lot more difficult for 2Es and DG.
Senna trying to put the pinch on. As you said, it's going to be a really difficult spot for DGZine and 2Es to be playing in. 2Es has to be the one to push back this presence out through vents. He's already found that first kill, and now we've seen the scurrying on the other side of things here. Sentinels are the ones who are looking for a few more available options. There's only 25 seconds left into this round, and where are you seeking to end here? Over towards the B side, but the pit in your face, an orb in your face on top of it, and plenty of bodies. Loud have sent in the reinforcements. TP across from Bang. There's no supplementary fire, no trade inside here, and straight through the pit as well. Murky depths, desperation from Zellsis. Peppered down from the shorty in hand. Got to give it up now if you are Sentinels here. Just losing grip of that round.
And the kill that made the difference was 2Es onto Zekken. Didn't get to catch it. We were watching the drone pushing DG off the angle, but here it is. Stepping in front of Zekken. Catching him just as he's going up the ropes. That took the sting out of what Sentinels were going for massively. They were trying to set up this big coordinated crunch onto A ramp. And 2Es playing a really aggressive breach, actually, just looking to take the fight. DGZine gets to hold on to the operator.
And still putting all the eggs over towards A. Louder heavily stacking it.
Yeah, they're just trying to get DGZine posted on a really nice line here. But I think John Cuty's already realized what's going on. Just from the previous round, he realizes, okay, we needed to drone DGZine off the angle quite a bit earlier, actually. So here, if he uses his drone, then the operator gets pushed behind the Viper utility.
Dash active for DGZine. This has been waiting. Lying in wait there with the drone. That's going to be broken up. Quick dash back and away.
And that's mission essentially accomplished. Now Luxio becomes the critical player for Loud.
He's the pin holding it all together here. There's a clone in your face. Not going to be baited by that one too much, but running straight forwards. I mean, slow to a crawl. Zekken just shrugs off the bullets. Takes Luxio straight out of the picture.
Another warrior steps up. Pancada, can he get it done?
Yeah, with B main control here. He needs to, but too many angles to really anticipate. The crosshair placement just looking like it wasn't quite there. So now the B side open for taking, and Loud have already made the decision. Retaking with an operator is just not on the cards in a 3v5. They're saving.
The calling from John in this round is lovely. The way that they isolate so many individual fights. As soon as they push DGZine off the line, the defensive setup over towards A requires a bit of help, and that isolates Luxio in mid.
Yeah.
And so Sentinels then put a little bit of pressure there. Zekken gets a gorgeous entry. I don't know quite how he's able to just muscle his way through, bullet tag and all, but he gets the pick there, and Pancada's stuck on an island.
Yeah.
Really nice round called from John, and I think utilizing a lot of the learnings from the prior, too, of when they ran out of time.
We'll see if Zellsis can hunt a gun or two.
Yeah, they've got a lot of wealth in the back pocket here. It's absolutely the right play to try to take guns out of hands for Loud. That's a deliberate footstep, don't worry. And now he's just running in, seeing if he can get anything done.
Way up. All good. They didn't manage to get that gun out of their hands. They're ready to go down towards the end there. DGZine's op.
Free.
So Loud have tried now a couple rounds with DG fighting over towards A main. I think it's a good idea to try to work it around into some different spots. B main, you don't really want to op because Bang is teleporting past the line right at the start of the round. You could try doing something aggressive in mid.
Holding it down, though, just to allow players waiting out the initial burst of util.
Jazine's actually picked up a more passive angle over towards B main, so not as worried about Bang teleporting past the first angle, and just hoping that people will walk into him late.
Snap thrown as well. Doesn't really signify too much. SEN have been doing this as part of their protocols here, but there is a bit more of a follow-up now. Dimensional drift in the hands of Zekin. He's going to be clearing the way. Pinpoint accuracy, pointing out multitudes of these players here. Near sighted up. That's going to be the rolling fund, and it cuts up most of the side in return. Response instantaneously from it, but 2 years is isolated out on an island there. Not too much chances for him. How is he almost just going down from a bit of the stray damage and spam in the midst of it? Still that heaven smoke fading away. There's chances to be a fight to be taken. Pancada offers himself up to the podium.
All missiles away.
Can't quite finish it off though here. Still 3 left to stand and just a bit of spam through the pit. It's all laid down. Preemptive plans by Sentinels are always just feeling like they're one step ahead.
Anytime the ults are online, SEN look gorgeous in terms of their execution. And you asked the question earlier today, Brent, what version of SEN are we going to see on that stage coming up against Loud? And I think this is a damn good version.
It is.
They're looking clean so far. The first 10 rounds have been orchestrated well. Like one slip up with a Pancada ace and one slip up where the macro didn't quite work, but otherwise, really well put together rounds where they've been in control from beginning to end. Navigating around the operator pretty nicely.
Yeah.
Setting up Zekin for some big entries and utilizing ults pretty brilliantly.
Still trying to take this op out of his hands. It might be in SEN's best interest, honestly, to let him keep it, to be honest. Winning rounds out just from Loud not opting to play these retakes with the operator in hand. Obviously having to get into that spot in the first place.
And it does become slightly more difficult. SEN are not going to have any massive ultimates now, probably for the rest of the half. They might get Johns online. So Loud might have an opportunity here, but look at the dodge on the Rolling Thunder. Zekin completely positioning himself, knowing that both breaches are going to exchange those ultimates, and he's going to have an opportunity to fight. The Paranoia got thrown in for him to try to take the first engagement. Then the Rolling Thunder afterwards. Sentinels just look so nice in these kind of spots to set Zekin up to be 11 and 5 at the top of the scoreboard currently.
It's looking locked in here. Second timeout, I believe, used by Loud at this point. Round 11, first half is split.
They're going to need something different to throw Sentinels off their game. They've got to put a wrench in the works to stop John just having a complete lay of the land on what's going on with his attack side macro. It's looked really good so far. You've got to do something unconventional. Fight in a spot that they're not expecting. You know, double up with Luke Shaw in the mid round, over towards mid, so that Sentinels can't abuse that.
Delayed re-clear as well, if you wanted to do it.
Yeah, something along those lines. SEN have not been going for fast execs unless they have ultimates online. So these next 2 rounds, Loud shouldn't be that worried about stacking the sites really early on. Unless they want to do heavy A-ramp control, for example. And A-ramp has been a bit of a focus in the early round. DG takes the operator over towards B main again. This should allow you to stack towards A early, and yet it's still only 2Es and Kalanzine over here.
Same setup.
Who have 4 kills between them, so it's not exactly been a hot start for the Loud initiated duo.
Much more passive as well at the beginning from them. We'll see if they opt into just the salvers and the fault line early on. SEN are going to be playing slow. Not willing to be caught by it early on.
Yeah, they're definitely expecting a big stun, salvo, aftershock. They were worried that Loud was pulling out a set play there.
Locating targets.
Drone in the hands of John. Good clearance. It's not thrown into your face. I don't know what happened there. Cancelled out maybe a little bit too early, but gets to make ramp control once more. Loud are starting to maneuver a bit more pieces into place. An attempt to try and defend this one. And oh, well, Lucio is just right in front of his own wall as well, sidestepping alongside Zekin, doing a bit of a dance. Down over towards heaven control though. There's a Paranoia to sweep and clear onto the one side as well, give a bit more peace of mind and drop it down to hell. This is Luke Shaw just trying to support as well, offloading with the bullets from on high, down low. Quick exchange here. Sentinels are being squeezed. Pancada approaching from the side. His coverage into the fiber. John QT now last alive, left alone into this spot here, into the 1v3 that he's made it himself. 35 seconds left into the round.
Teammates pinging out Luxio. Made a footstep over towards screens. But he's surrounded
30 seconds left.
on all fronts except vents. 25 seconds. If he had to go B, it would be right now. Otherwise, he's got to brute force his way through Luxio and 2Es on site.
Yeah, 17 seconds left. 6 bullets, doesn't want to make any sound whatsoever with the reload here. Your chances of winning the round essentially naught at this point. Spotted out. 8 seconds left. You'd have to get a bit of a move on. There's 2 players waiting to receive. So Loud do find themselves a bit of a round here. They've stunted the momentum ever so slightly.
Yeah, and that was a great round from Luxio. He
half.
pulled his way over from mid. He wasn't worried about mid at all. He decided to hard fight and took down Zekken right at the beginning. Any round where Zekken has fallen early on trying to get a bit of a heaven control, Loud have ended up coming out better on the back end of that.
Yeah.
They really need Zekken to be staying alive for these. And Luxio was floating around. He had so much freedom in these defensive positions there, because 2Es and Kawanzin were hard anchoring towards site. Sentinels maybe realizing that Luxio was getting a little too free there, having a walkabout in the mid round, so now they're going back over to mid.
This is disrespect from him. He's been playing it passive over towards B, but this is far more aggro. Controller B main, pretty critical at that as well. Putting the pressure and applying it hard onto Pancada. He's going to be dropping and falling here. And a quick peek just from the shoulder. Gives the acknowledgement here for Sentinels. They realize now, okay, there's an operator in play. So regaining that mid control. Armageddon's going to be forced out. There's a slight gap in through the back of the side. But Digizine is going to be pushed forwards as a result. And the rate, it's going to be that level of awareness. Still trying to make a go of things. Laying claim down over towards the side. A wide face will not be helping out in the rate here. But site control given up, but they don't have B main. That's held down by Digizine. Smoke into your face as well. Finds way ahead of it. Inserted himself, dominated that angle nice and early, and it brings it back down to that 2v2. Kawanzin and 2Es side by side here for God knows how many years at this point. Banging Zekken, quick peek, 26 health onto Bang. That was a risky maneuver, but he gets the information for Zekken to work off of salvos. Off and around to the side here. Stun ricocheting. Needs to land that shot, but slowed down entirely here. And Bang's position, noted from earlier. So that quick cleanup here from Loud. Good dissecting into their retake. They bring it up to 5, 7 to 5. It's, listen, nothing to scoff at.
No, it's a big recovery in the final couple rounds there from Loud. As soon as Sentinel's ult cycle disappeared, Loud had these final 2. Even with the Teho coming online actually from Jonna, they just couldn't get an array into position. DG locked down B main. I thought Bang might have done it with that reposition back into spawn. But Kawanzin comes online in the final round of the half, going from 2 kills to 5 kills, and makes all the difference.
We've got a hell of a map so far as well. We'll see if it just keeps going with this kind of momentum after this.
It's for you. Do you like it? Come on, Charlie. Use your new door. Come on, let's go. I said go. Let's go. Silly dog. I'm gonna trade you for a cat. Red Bull gives you wings.
The new Red Bull Zero is here. 100% wings with monk fruit extract.
Well, 7-3 when Loud took their second time out in that first half, and they did earn themselves 2 rounds because of it. 7-5 now as well. It's definitely very good staging ground, I think, of which to potentially lay claim to the map. A big part of the reason why they're doing so well on top of it as well is Luxo, this newcomer. We've just been talking about him over and over again. It's because he's been putting up the big numbers. Top of the scoreboard for his team.
And now he's swapping over to the attack side, where he can potentially have even more impact. He's often going to be playing over towards A, that classic Viper role. And Sentinels stacking the A side of the map, leaving B completely open. Really hard read.
Yep, quick dash as well. And wow, Snake Bite's not going to be saving you from that spot there. The stun was picture perfect. Up through into heaven. This is Loud laying claim to most of this now. And Arate's just attempting to slow this one. It's a bit of a crawl. Salvo's preemptive. Space can be taken straight back up again, but it's a cautious engagement now. You can see both teams drifting and walking straight back into it. Reloads are heard, and this is going to be a bloodbath. Straight into the blender that's occurring. Right click in your face. No anticipation for it. Aftershock as well. Slight miss onto the corner, hopping straight over, and it's 3-3 at a moment's notice.
How are they still alive in that spot? Zekken on 2 HP, and somehow Sentinels have defended B heaven. Loud, regroup, go back over to B main. Surely this avenue is not going to be as heavily defended. They've already used so much of that defensive utility. Aftershock gone, Paranoia gone. Loud should be able to just walk out, and what a call.
Gamble by SEN as well. They're making their moves over towards A, expecting it to be going in that direction. It is a good call from Loud.
And this is going to make it really difficult for Sentinels once they get back onto the retake here, because they have no clue how deep these Loud players could go. Look at Cowanzine all the way in spawn. You don't know if B Heaven's compromised, Spawn's compromised, or if they're all playing some kind of passive setup. Really, really tough to retake.
Cowanzine shows presence. Potentially a bit of a bait and switch as well, but Salvage is right. And run on! And with the footsteps, okay. Lots of targets there for Luxo to potentially take care of. And Cowanzine just not anticipating. The Bang was just hanging back, holding to be that extra element into the play. Now it's planned for Pancada off to the side here. Smoke in his hand, but the fault line is going to be causing a bit of delay. And a tap, not quite a tap, it's a full stick at this point. It needs to be that coverage and defense in order. That's Bang that presses that advantage.
A pistol round post plant that should have had so much danger to it. Loud even going for the jiggle, the bait play. It was a nice idea to set up as well, that punish onto Zelsis. We've seen a lot of teams go for it. But I can't believe they were actually able to win that one. Luxo looked like he was set up perfectly.
Yeah.
But he had an Arate, Zekken in his face, too much to deal with. And ends up going down.
A big pistol round here for Sentinels. It's a lead that's going to be accrued up as well. Second with the Outlaw, but he's not going to be receiving too much of the danger. Loud are all very much stacked up, and Bang just taking a peek as well, just as the stun phase, but he only gets the one for his trouble. Instant reclear here, called by SEN. They don't want to give up that gun. Instead, the sight is taken up by Loud.
And they know that they're going to try to defend this weapon, and so look at how much space Luxo gets immediately in screens.
Yeah, push all the way back and through, in to the side. Zekken taking a few stray shots here. Heaven control is going to be given up as well. Bullets straight through the box as well. He's just trying to maneuver away and around from that wall. Somehow still gets John in the mix. Zekken still hanging back, still provides that supportive element. Just missing the timing onto the corner. Zelsis can't quite lay claim to that kill. 2v3 though still. SEN have maybe advantages into this one, and just on that stray shot, it's a bit of a gambit from Zelsis. He knows where the last is, eager to sniff them out.
Getting Sentinels in these retake positions. It's something that's been their bread and butter for years at this point. Loud are going to find it difficult, even with the rifles, even with the ultimates, are closing out rounds like this. I respect what Luxo was going for there, taking all of that space, really intelligent, getting back up behind his own Viper wall in A Heaven too. He had chances for chaos, and a bit of damage was done. SEN, not with the greatest buy for this bonus round. 2 Bulldogs and an Outlaw to work with, and nobody on light armor on the other side. So this, if any round was a slam dunk for Loud, it would have to be this one.
Slow at the beginning, you can tell. Both of these teams are pretty familiar now at this point with the Breach Teo business. Got to wait it out initially just for that burst of util. Now you go for the reclear. John's going to be instantly breaking that one, but a fault line off of just a connection there. Rebounds and ricochets, but can't survive. Stun just not quite connecting there to that point. It's good by Loud, and now looking to speed this one up. There's a cloud burst into your face, but still going to get access into the side. Some stray shots to the Outlaw. Zekken praying. Big can get a cheeky pick off. Doubled up. That's unorthodox here from Loud in terms of the hold. And peeking out through the smoke. There was no play for Zelsis there. He heard the plant going down and was hoping that he could take that timing.
Can Narrate recover the rifle? Because Zelsis just kind of ran in there with the Bulldog. Narrate would love to have that one back. And Luxio invents, playing as that backstab at all times,
yeah, he's
if
an
they
insurance
need it.
policy, isn't he? And yeah, well, just about sniffed out here, but Bang wasn't ready for it. At this point, it is a sealed up round for Loud.
Yeah, very clean. Exactly what they were looking for, exactly what they needed.
Senna's still going to be making it nice and awkward, or at least applying a bit of pressure in the end, but still flawless. Everybody surviving from Loud.
And you know what? Both of the times where we've seen Loud be able to accelerate really heavily and get a pick early on, it's been off the back of Tui's utility. There's that breach util that allows DG to run up ramp. We saw it on the pistol round as well, where the stun caught onto Zelsis in B Heaven. Allowed DG to dash up mid. So they've got some set game plans with Tui's breach. And he's holding the stun right now to see if anybody's wanting to contest B main. So if Bang wanted to fight for that one, Tui's would have the stun out and DG would be ready to fight.
Onto the pillars, Bang. He's hearing the noise as well, so he's going to lay down that smoke. Looks like it's slightly to the one side. I think there's a pixel angle for him to play off. I'm not too sure.
There is, yeah. It's on top of the box, so it creates like a weird one-way with a tiny little angle underneath. The dirty little smoke.
Fault line, just in response to the drone that was sent flying forwards. It's meant to slow down. Loud. Ensure that they can't claim too much space up towards mid. It's not going to stop them though for now. It's going to be John who puts a stop to them if he hears this one dropping down silent as it goes, but just betrayed, just by the foot, but too many tangos. Okay, we're going to go for it anyways. The salvos to try and force the issue and push all the way into your face. Narrate. Bit of spam, side by side, shoulder to shoulder with the IGL. Free clearance there with a drone out to the side. Gets the acknowledgement, they know that there's players, and Loud are trying to at least make an attempt.
Second's anchor position on site is so tough to deal with.
And not just that, I mean, it's an anchor smoke that's being laid down for him, and that's beautiful. Still flashed up into the moment. Gonna deal with this one, and running gunning is ordered up. It's exactly what he needed. Still Flash is connecting. He's running a mockery over the round, and in full control of the site.
It's such a great defensive protocol to go for. We see a lot of teams that run the Yoru on this map fall back into similar positions. I mean, my head's just full of E2 doing it for T1. But fighting early over that A main angle and then dropping back off it, not getting caught by the lurk. And there are just so many different things that you could do as Yoru in that position. Throw your clone out to one side, flash it up over the top, have a smoke thrown for you on site and flash through it. It's just a beautiful spot for Zekken to have max impact and play his initiators in.
Seeing dimensional drift. This is used very early on by Zekken.
With the paranoia, does Luxio get caught?
Yeah. And he realizes it. I think the Zekken knows that the timing's missed ever so slightly. Now the gate crasher on the upper side of the map, so...
Yeah, that might have been a crazy one where the idea was actually to catch Pancada with a fault line, maybe? They might have been going for a multi-layered thing there, but in the end, just a bit of a waste of the ult.
Interesting enough idea for it. The salvos, okay. Bit of chip damage onto the Jazeen. Might not make a difference, but so far we're at the minute mark, and Loud, they don't have any map control. Instead, just opting, steadily going to be making their way all the way over towards A.
They do enjoy returning to Luxio's positions at about the minute mark. John, if he feels like he needs more information, may end up... I mean, he doesn't go for the peek, he goes for the drone and spots a bunch of them.
A lot of suppression as well, and just as the smoke blooms into the face of Bang, won't deny him that kill. Kawazine dropped into the moment. 38 seconds left. TP up to the top and to the high ground. It needs to be a plant in order to use. Going to oblige, help out the team with that one. Getting ourselves into the post plan. This is full heaven control here for Sentinels. Loud very much trapped out onto the site. Luxio realizes the importance. Needs to hold down to main controls. Risk basically the only thing stopping this team from getting in. And Zekken, like a thief in the night, a fox in the pen, gets all the way into the back lines and leaves it just down to Tui's now. Flash has to be dodged, but the double face up. It's that discipline that we've been seeing hammered in to Loud over and over again.
Just destroyed. What a play to go for. I mean, you normally see a play like that if you have the Yoru Ultimate, if you have an Astral to combo with or something. So at least we have a little safe pocket to be able to get inside of. That's so bold for Zekken to go for that. Take a look at it here again on the replay. I mean, there's Bang catching the first. And here's that teleport that he went for, all the way into the back lines and comboed with the paranoia. Just had tons of free opportunities there on the site. What a
very interesting way to take the retake.
Yeah. Senna got so many ideas, and maybe Cuba cut that one up.
Out of struggling at this point, though. Grasping at straws.
Breach ults on both sides. Narrate just holding the fault line. Jiggling with Zekken.
Did he spot that one? Just through the shoulders. Oh, they just missed each other, but okay, getting that information. Zekken. This guy's, I was going to say overstaying his welcome, but with the way and the form that he's in, looking to try and take that challenge.
Narrate's really been trying to help Zelsis in mid, knowing that Zelsis is going to be a focal point.
Zekken's not moving.
I mean, neither's Luxio, though. They're both just scrapping with each other over on this A side, but Luxio's called in reinforcements.
He's just wandering around in through mid here. There's going to be that double face off the flash. Zekken this time appreciating the threat. Makes a bit of a move backwards now, holding his ground and holding it down indeed. Stalwart defender with some util to help him out. Lining up these plays, but just not enough bullets for the job really at hand still. The rest of Sentinels happy to step straight back into the fight once more. Filling in the gaps, and that's an incredibly difficult ask now. 2Es into a 1v2. ISO's the one. Guardian in hand. Just needs a second. Celsius. Position noted. 2Es! Steady hand would have suited him there, but it's Celsius who shuts him down. Brings Sentinels up to 12.
Really important 1v1 to close the door there on what would have been a fabulous clutch from 2Es. In a difficult spot today. Nobody would blame him for being bottom of the scoreboard, not able to find his value. Coming back in off the bench, having to play Breach for the first ever time. But he's still finding his opportunities, at least, in some of these spots. And it's a 12-6 scoreline, but plenty of these rounds have actually been fairly winnable for Loud. Sen, though, the quality, the form, pushing him over the edge. Zelsis rips ult at the very beginning of the round. Has help from Zekken and Narrate with the fault line if there was any early pressure, and now both of those players can go and help elsewhere on the map. And it looks like A is the area that Loud are going to hammer again.
They're just trying to regain a bit of control up towards ramp. Birds landing.
So there is a chance, actually, that Luxio makes the play in B main. So keep that in the back of your head throughout all of this, because Bang is over there just trying to control this. But that Viper's Orb is really tough to get information around. So it forces Bang to try to play forwards and take the fight. But we kind of saw Luxio scrapping with Zekken in the prior round, and it never quite resulted in the opening pick that Loud were hoping for.
Cover going out.
You're going to be going into the A side. You're going to be meeting again Zekken. He's tucked to the corner. Tight is the angle. That's a difficult one to land there. Digizine doubled up with a cloud burst, obfuscating where he was moving and hiding into. Loud get themselves the site. Plan needs to go down at the next stage.
Plant needs to go down, and I think 2Es needs to use this ult aggressively. You can't allow Sentinels to just go for their classic retake protocols.
Yeah, full heavy control all out through screens. 2Es is thinking about it. He's got a fault line for the first wave. Stun for a stun. There's exchange, and he's just cycling. Mousewheel through all sorts of util paranoia sweeps. He's going to be potentially catching a bit of friendly fire onto Digizine, but I think he sidesteps it and Bang an attempt to TP past it. It was cheeky, leaving Sentinels now into 3v4. They are being stalled out entirely here.
There's so much util still kept in the back pocket from 2Es and Kawanzine. That's one of the problems with Sentinels playing off-site, playing the retake so often.
Time is ticking.
It's over at this point.
Sen very aware of the fact that they're going to be losing this round, but that wasn't the objective. It was to do as much damage as possible with the Loud. They don't have that loser's bonus as well to fall back on.
No, they get 3,000, they get plant money, they get, you know, a bit of money for getting a couple of kills as well. There's that fight that I was talking about over towards B, where Bang picked up Luke. But I think Sen have got to start realizing now, all right, Loud are holding on to a lot of utility. When they hit the site, they're trying to do it with as little as possible. But I mean, the weaponry is as little as possible.
Zekken knows it. He's immediately purchased the Outlaw. Full read of the economic state.
There's only one player with full armor. That's Kawanzine.
Get out of my way!
He's also only one of 2 that has a Vandal.
Bladestorm is what he's going to be working with. Celsius catches the contact as well, gets a bit of information.
And if Dejazine tries to accelerate and pick Celsius, the fault line is waiting from Narrate. So he's always got that safety net in the back.
Or the back in spawn. Fault line's going to be used just for the stealth drone. Use no tag, or actually, I tell a lie, it was a tag up onto the side here. Celsius' position is known. Dejazine's going full speed ahead as an Armageddon as well. It's meant to clear the way here from SEN. Gives him peace of mind, potentially to re-clear back into mid as well, deny that space from Loud.
Time to jump.
Luxio would die in 1 shot here. It's only Coenzine that has the full armor.
Really important fight as well when the wall goes up. Luxio sending it flying overhead. Second knows that he's lurking around, just barely a peek. The TP back.
Didn't catch that Dejazine was also in this area, I think. But Narrate is still getting called over to help anyway.
And John QT, gotta be that playmaker into that spot here. This is Loud. Doing anything at this point.
30 seconds left.
Trying to find a path to victory.
This is all a fake, by the way.
Forwards, a fake, and making moves. Bang, bang! Hold up, does not anticipate that there's more players waiting for him. It's all over the place in the end. Still Loud are going to be happy with it. One more round to stay alive.
It was almost an entirely unnecessary fake there. If Loud had just gone with the rest of the pack, I think they would have won no matter where they ended. Because both of these kills came down instantly. We saw Dejazine fighting onto John Cutie, but that was the pick on the other side too. Luke with the Guardian picks up Zekken, who was just going for a re-peek of elbow. I think it was a great read on the round from Zekken. The Outlaw was the right purchase. The fight over towards Luxio at A main was the right one. He just missed the shot. And now Sentinels, they're going to be on an eco round of their own after losing 2 in a row. They had 6 chances to close this map out. It does feel inevitable that at some point, a big round from an individual, a retake that works well, a trip up, a mistake from Loud. But Loud have got to believe that it's doable and run the next 4 in a row back.
Got the money to do so. Loud are back into it, and often the final round, that last hurdle to clear a map can be the hardest one to get. SEN know it, that's why they're taking a timeout. I noticed as well, there wasn't really too much input from Kaplan. I think that just shows that the team is probably cooking. Oh, he's talking now.
He's having a little yap with him.
Yeah. Plenty of stuff that Sentinels could do as well to try and close it out, even though their money is weak in this spot. Dimensional Drift to work with.
Loud have been pretty cautious on their attack side though. They've not been jumping into unsure opportunities too early on in the round. Luxio's just been controlling an avenue of the map and then maybe starting to do something later on, but often with help. Dejazine is not getting caught in mid, overextending.
SEN are going for a delayed re-clear of B main though. And this is exactly where Loud are looking towards. To flash a step forwards, it's going to be a fault line to the side along with some salvos off of Bang's contact. We'll see it. How does it work out? His damage done. Here's the fault line, here's the salvos all the way through, and aftershock as well. Why not? They throw it into the mix.
Beautifully done. And I think the damage done there from Bang was actually necessary to get the kill onto Dejazine too. Ooh, that is good information. You've just seen him teleport away, and you know now that this lurk up towards A ramp is totally free.
Luxio's taking that timing. Celsius trying to maneuver past the orb just before it goes down. Peeking, Shorty! Okay, and there's a follow-up.
Oh, that's brutal.
Rifle fire.
On a more important round, that might be worthy of a death slam.
And silent jump spots Narrate, just hoping you can get a bit of mid-round information to try and put together what Loud are up to onto a round like this. That space that Luxio gained prior just by taking that timing. Loud can now set up for the hit.
Right there.
Could definitely still be a second round here to close the map.
Holding tight to the corner here, still got the Guardian into his hands. Clone is going to be active now, stunned up and has to gate crash all the way back out. All of his util really expended into the moment, and Luxio still holding it down over towards Heaven. Gives up a lot of the space here, but he's just peeking out wide, and he's actually giving up his life as a result of it here. Pancada now steps up to be that playmaker.
That was really bold from Narrate. He just walked straight through the snakebite, disrespected it.
Okay, Pancada does claim his kill. It's going to be a thorn in the side of Sentinels if they want to try and play this retake effectively. So Zekken already realizes it. Himself going for potential with a re-clear. Stray shots. Pancada's revealed himself. Out wide to the sides. Guardian's just not the weapon at hand to try and take that duel.
And John definitely wants to save in this spot. He bought down to 450 credits in this round, so he's got to keep this rifle online. Took a bit of a half-committed approach to the retake, but I think he would have sent it if Zekken had got that kill. Loud though, they're pulling the gap.
Yeah.
Half the chances now remaining for Sentinels. Only 3 to close this one. There's a really nice trap play, B main. Gotta give him credit for that. But it's Luke Shaw again that I've got to give even more credit to on the attack side, because the way that he just takes space as soon as he realizes it's open to him, without even ever getting punished. Yeah. You never see him walk too aggressively and step over the line. Now, John is going to buy armor here, isn't he? Yeah, okay, he's going for the regen. This is one of the big rounds, the big chances for Sen to close.
Oh, Bank's going to be feeling the heat soon enough. Stray bullets and spam. Kawazine has been dropped.
There goes the Taeho ult as well.
Uh-oh. Is that going to be the impetus for turning on the round that gets Sen this map? We'll see. Big opening kill. Let's put a pause into the step of Loud. They need to re-explore some different avenues and directions.
Cover going out.
Zels is pushed away from his spot where he was regaining information in mid.
Good show.
They realize there's at least Luke Shaw here in B main, but you don't know if there's still friends stuck around with him. Zekken's doing what he can to hold down the entirety of the A side of the map on his own here. John Cutie just making the gamble, it's going to be a re-hit, and he is right.
Yeah, the bodies are in the right place here for Sentinels to try and shore up the defenses. Push back this approach. It's all contact plays up to now. Loud.
Walk out from Luke.
Trying not to make any noise. Luke is all the way out. And wide with the heads. Just peeking out to the side here. There is that return of the fire out towards the back of the side. Luke Show. Demonic in the moment. Someone single-handedly trying to shut this one all the way down. Just backpedaling away to Jazine. He's handed that angle. Salvos. Lay it down. An attempted delay here, but a Survivor's Pit that's offloaded as well. And that's a Dimensional Drift to try and exit out through the back. Bit of spam onto the corner.
Spike planted.
John needs to be careful though with that decay damage. 2v3 pit at play, so a bit of RNG, I think. Spam is going to be the name of the game here for Sentinels. They've already laid claim to just the one, but the pit is still standing out towards the back. This is Luke Show, you can see position. Crouched up. He's got a haircut for free with that one. Shredded with bullets towards the back of the side, but still, as long as the pit is up, the safety and the round should be locked up entirely. Good awareness. But this rookie player of Loud inserted into this roster when there was little hope for the more.
Last player standing.
It's a string of rounds now that realistically have been put together purely just from Luke Shaw himself.
Yeah, he's been fabulous. He does it again here in this round, doesn't he? He's been going for a combination of A-lurk setups, B-lurk setups, and this round just walks it out. His team were in full control of B Heaven, so he was never worried about that angle. And he gets into such a deep position and kills both of the anchor players on B. Then sets up a pit. This whole round is him. He's got to 20 kills, caught up with Zekken, top of the scoreboard. And he continues, but he put up over a kill per round in his debut. One of the greatest debuts, because also the impact that he's having is ridiculous. It's not just, you know, getting random anti-eco kills here and there. He's so pivotal to the way that they're playing these attack sides and offering them options. And he's just doing it again. Showcasing that it's not a fluke. He's ready for tier 1. But it is going to be utterly bitter if he puts up this kind of performance and Sen come out with a win anyway. Because once more, we've got to address the fact, even though Loud have won 4 in a row, sorry, there's still 2 more opportunities for Sentinels to just close this out.
Yeah.
They're not even on an eco yet. Next round, round 24, is going to be desperation for Sentinels. Their economy is going to be broken. Although potentially they might have a breach ultimate to work with, but we could say that about both of the teams. They're starting to get pretty close to that. Could see some crazy post-plant situations where they get that online.
Yeah.
But Loud, can they dig deep? Can they find more to add to this string?
Just with the sole goal of trying to bring it to OT here. Sen, as you said, 2 more chances. Bottom of the barrel is being scraped in terms of the purchase. Very much almost all or nothing. You can see phone line held out. Sound Cues, I think, is waiting. One way as well. The setup feels familiar, but here's a flash play at a peak, and that was dodged entirely. Not sure what happened to the flash. Maybe we got 8 by the wall. Bit of the geometry Armageddon to try and set this one up already. Narrates the slightest of one goes on the TP forwards into the cloud burst. Needs to be careful. Util out into his hands already with a stun. Lay it down, hopping around into the corner. Stun. Will not deny him that kill at least, but still it's traded out instantaneously. But Bang from behind, trying to do more. Rips away to it, Elias, make it 3. And will he grab the 4 for the 1v1? Yes, he will! Bang! What a beast! Where did he pull that one from? Omenal miles behind them, and he was so confident. Narrate gassing up his teammate there. That was the play they needed to take it across the line. Devastation for Loud, but Pancada's all smiles. I can't believe that. No.
How is that the way that Loud ended up losing?